ladies and gentlemen, our checks have revealed that there are at least over 50 persons in the Akufo-Addo government whose appointments can be related to their families, friends, business, or close connections to Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, Dr. Bawumia, his vice, their ministers, and other appointees. This unprecedented but unenviable practice, we contend, injures good governance and breeds corruption. So, ladies and gentlemen, at this stage, because this is a moment of true series, having given you an introduction to this subject of nepotism and how it is plaguing our country currently, we will present you with a few examples which demonstrate the classic and unprecedented nepotism that President Akufo-Addo is presiding over. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, among Akufo-Addo's uncountable relatives in government is Nana Asante Bediatu. And if we can have his picture on the screen. Nana Asante Bediatu, you can see his picture on the screen, who is a cousin of President Akufo-Addo from Chebi and serves as his executive secretary. But ladies and gentlemen, Bediatu is not alone. He is by his father, his biological father, called Kofi-Daakon Asante. You can see his picture on the screen. That is Nana Asante Bediatu's father, who has been appointed by President Akufo-Addo as chairman of the governing council of GIMPA. He is also joined by his biological mother, Mrs. Vida Asante. You can see her picture on the screen, who is the head of the presidential household. So his mother is also a presidential staffer, described as head of the presidential household. His father is the chairman of the GIMPA Council. But that is not all. His brother, his blood brother, Kwesi Kuntu Asante, has also been appointed as a board member of Ghana Hostels. And you can see him in the photograph with Nana Asante Bediatu on the screen. That is his blood brother, board member, Ghana Hostels. But not just that, ladies and gentlemen. In addition to this, his blood sister, called Loretta Asante, with a marital name Ochre, so she's now called Loretta Ochre, has also been appointed as one of the 3 Deputy Director General at Senate. So she also, you can see that they look very much alike. She's also, you know, a Deputy Director General at Senate. So one nuclear family, ladies and gentlemen. The father, Mr. Kofi-Daakon Asante, has been appointed as the chairman of the GIMPA Council. His mother, Vida Asante, head of presidential household, whatever that means. His blood brother, Kwesi Kuntu Asante, member of the Ghana Hostels Board. His blood sister, Loretta Asante, now Loretta Ochre, Deputy Director General Senate, and himself, Asante Bediatu, Executive Secretary to the President. Ladies and gentlemen, other relatives of President Akufo-Addo who currently occupy positions in his government include the famous ones, Ken Ofori-Atta. Can we see his picture? Ken Ofori-Atta is on the screen. The Minister of Finance, Samuel Atachia, the Minister of Works and Housing, and Kwesi Amwakwata, the Minister for Roads and Highways, all of whom are his cousins. So Atachia is a cousin, Kwesi Amwakwata is a cousin, and the almighty Ken Ofori-Atta, cousin of President Akufo-Addo. Given various juicy positions, Ken Ofori-Atta is finance minister, Another cousin of his, Kwasi Amoakwata, Minister for Roads and Highways. Another cousin of his, Samuel Atacha, Minister for Works and Housing. Now, friends from the media, in an unprecedented move, President Akufo-Addo has made his own daughter, Jankroma Akufo-Addo, a member of the Creative Arts Council. And you can see Jankroma Akufo-Addo on the screen, daughter of President Akufo-Addo, has also been given an appointment as member of the Creative Arts Council. So it's not only an affair of cousins, but it is also an affair of daughters. And as we move on, you are going to see more. Ladies and gentlemen, a major striking feature of Akufo-Addo's nepotistic governance style is the ever-present quartet, made up of 2 appointees and 2 non-appointees. That quartet is what is known in government circles as the ruling quartet. They are made up of 4 people, the most powerful people in Ghana today. Made up of 2 appointees, Ken Ofori-Atta, Minister of Finance, Duke Ofori-Atta, his younger brother, who is also a presidential staffer in the office of the Chief of Staff, and then President Akufo-Addo's direct younger brother, called Edward Akufo-Addo, a.k.a. Bomti, and their nephew, Gabi Asare-Otchere-Darkon, the de facto Prime Minister of Ghana, known in government circles as God, in quotes. You can see them on the screen. This is the ever-present quartet who are controlling the affairs of this country and being presided by President Akufo-Addo. Now, it must be noted that even though Bomti and Gabi do not hold formal positions in government, the 2 are the president's closest advisors. Gabi, in particular, is considered as the most powerful man in the Akufo-Addo's administration, second only to the president. And Bomti, on the other hand, as revealed by our investigations, is the president's main man, underline that, main man in Ghana's energy sector with numerous interests. And we are going to explain that. Now, furthermore, the wife of Ghana's de facto Prime Minister, Gabi Asare-Otchere-Darkon, President Akufo-Addo's nephew, and for that matter, the in-law of the president, Nana Adwoa HACKMAN, is not left out of the sharing of the spoils, as she has been appointed to the board of the GNPC, a key institution which pivots Ghana's petroleum sector. So here you are seeing the influence of Gabi. His own wife has been appointed as a member of the GNPC board. Also, the husband of Gabi's wife, called Mr. EKOW HACKMAN. No, the brother of Gabi's wife, called Mr. EKOW HACKMAN. And for that matter, President Akufo-Addo's son-in-law has been appointed as the board chairman of BOST. So Gabi's wife is on the GNPC board. And the brother of his wife is now the board chairman of BOST, all key institutions in Ghana's energy and petroleum sector. Now, to add to the litany of familial relations of the president in government and the unholy firm grip that the Akufo-Addo family has on the energy sector of Ghana, another cousin of the president, Rodalen Bafojima, has been made a member of the board of Ghana Oil Company, GOIL. So this is another cousin of President Akufo-Addo, Mrs. Rodalen Bafojima, who has been appointed by President Akufo-Addo as a member of the GOIL board. But ladies and gentlemen, in addition, the husband of Rodalen Bafojima, who is the cousin of President Akufo-Addo, the husband, called Mr. Alex Bafojima, has also been rewarded for his relations with the president by being appointed to be the chair of the board of the Gaming Commission. So that's Rodalen Bafojima's husband. He has also been appointed as board chairman of Gaming Commission. And I hope the cameras here will capture that for the benefit of those watching. Also, another cousin of President Akufo-Addo, a very famous one, Nana Fredua Ofori-Atta, has been appointed by the president as the board chairman of National Theatre. So, a known communicator of the New Patriotic Party, cousin of President Akufo-Addo. He has also gotten his fair share, chairman of the National Theatre Board. Now, the names we have mentioned so far are relatives of the president from his mother's side, the maternal relatives of the president. But ladies and gentlemen, in furtherance of his legendary practice of nepotism and clanism, Nana has not left out his paternal side from his distribution of state positions. Dr. Edward KWAPONG, the Chief Executive Officer of the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission, and the current Attorney General and Minister of Justice, Ms. Gloria Akufo, are all paternal relatives of President Akufo-Addo from his father's hometown, Akupong. So these are paternal relatives. Edward KWAPONG, Chief Executive of Fair Wages and Salaries Commission, Ms. Gloria Akufo, Attorney General and Minister of Justice. But quite apart from the above enumerated, President Akufo-Addo has also a long catalogue of relatives and friends deeply embedded at the presidency. So here we are zooming in to the presidency, on the presidency, sorry. This was revealed after our careful perusal of the list of presidential staffers presented to Parliament early last year by the president. Among them, you remember the 998 presidential staffers. Now, on that list is President Akufo-Addo's nephew, called Michael Ofori-Atta. Hard guy to find, so we couldn't get his picture. But he's there, nephew of President Akufo-Addo, who operates under the title Director of EKOW. It is very puzzling to us, ladies and gentlemen, what this role entails, Director of EKOW, given the fact that the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration has able hands to handle the affairs of the sub-regional body on behalf of the government of Ghana. Still on the unprecedented list of presidential staffers, which has sent many tongues wagging, is another nephew of the president, William Ofori-Atta, who bears the title of an office assistant. He's a presidential staffer with the title office assistant. While yet another relative of the president, Alice Ofori-Atta, has also been drafted in as a protocol officer at the presidency. So, Presidential Alice Ofori-Atta, you can see a picture, presidential staffer in charge of protocol. And then you have William Ofori-Atta, office assistant. And then you have Michael Ofori-Atta, director of EKOW, when the Ministry of Foreign Affairs already have a plethora of workers, professionals, who can handle such affairs. Now, in a move to further entrench nepotism, contrary to his euphonious rhetoric whilst in opposition, a relative of the First Lady, Mrs. Rebecca Akufo-Addo, who goes by the name Gabriela Akosua-Newman, and her husband, Victor Newman, have been appointed to the presidency. Victor Newman is a paternal relative of President Akufo-Addo and his long-standing associate. He is today his senior presidential advisor. And Victor Newman's wife, Akosua Newman, like I've already stated, is the executive assistant at the presidency, whatever that means, executive assistant at the presidency. Still on the record-breaking list of staffers is Shirley Lai, who has been appointed as an assistant office administrator at the office of the president. Her husband, Mr. Gadi Lai, is a known long-standing friend of President Akufo-Addo. Now, ladies and gentlemen of the press, in what comes across to us as a romantic twist to this tale of family and friends, President Akufo-Addo has made Madame Virginia HESSE an ex-lover of the president and baby mama of the president. We are saying it as it is. A woman who is known to have a daughter with the president, Ghana's ambassador to the Czech Republic. So this is Madame Virginia HESSE. She has a daughter with President Akufo-Addo, and she has also received her fair share, appointed as ambassador of Ghana to the Czech Republic. So daughters are getting their shares, cousins are getting their shares, nephews are getting their shares, husbands and wives are getting their shares, nuclear families are getting their shares, and ex-lovers and baby mamas are also getting their shares. Clearly, President Akufo-Addo has shown that he is not a man of his word and cannot be trusted.